So to wrap up, did want to mention a few announcements that perhaps not everyone is aware of. A few people have asked me to say a few things, and I'll do my best not to forget those. But a quick update on the United Synagogue marriage authorizations, a very important source of records. So this is a fairly similar slide to last year, but things have got a little bit better. The website has been updated, and there is now a working search engine, which is a bit better than last year when it wasn't. I'm fairly sure Daniel is sure about that fact. But they've removed one of the names, which was the maiden name of the bride, and now you just type it into these boxes. They are both required fields, but you don't have to put the full name in. So you can just put the first letter of the first name in. So this does make it much easier to find records on the United Synagogue site. There are about 50,000 transcribed records there, and takes it from 1880 to 1917. £5 discount, so only £15 for JGSGB members. And for privacy reasons, the other ones aren't searchable, but it is also possible to order marriage authorizations from 1918 to about 2000. But you have to mail Miriam Marson at the United Synagogue using that address, or wonderful technology here, you can actually call her on the phone. And if you remember the good old days of sending a letter to Charles Tucker and having to pay by check, this is a big step forward. You can also pay by credit card, so it's all very civilized, it's all online, you can order things with a few clicks. But brand new news. Trouble with these records is there are some gaps, and we are trying to plug those gaps. We have just received 6 more rolls of marriage authorizations between 1896 and 98. Some of those have been done already, but we are going to fill in the gaps, and somewhere in the audience, Sue and I are going to be doing these fairly shortly, and we have a third person checking the records. So quite important step forward to actually plug the gaps, because if, like me, you can't find a marriage and you're wondering whether your great-grandparents ever did, it's possible they're in one of the gaps. So I'm holding out hope. I've been searching for it for over 10 years. So anyway, there we go. So that's an update on United Synagogue. Affiliations. We are doing lots with the Society of Genealogists, who we share a building with for our headquarters in London. I'm sure most of you know that. And we hope to have some joint meetings with them coming up. Council is working on that quite hard. Similarly, the Jewish Historical Society, I think I see a few members in the audience. We are doing lots with them. They have a very nice Facebook page which has started recently. I would encourage you all to find it, join it, like it, whatever you do with Facebook pages. And that's where all their news appears. But also there is actually, for JGSGB members, half-price membership if you use the special code PAM125. So please write that down. We're not publicising that too widely, but just for JGSGB members. So before I get to the thanks for today, I did just want to announce a few things. There is an event coming up on the 27th of November. I hope I've got this right. And it is at this very Jewish Museum where we are situated right now, 6:30 to 8 p.m, a free event. And it's called 1938 in Retrospect. And if you have any German background, I think it would be an interesting meeting to attend. Is that a sufficient announcement? Happy with that? Okay. And there was one other announcement I wanted to make. Someone came up to me before, Pauline, there she is. Jeanette, in her talk, talked about piles of photographs in the collection somewhere that quite a few of us have, and you don't know what they are. and Yad Vashem is actually trying to collect these. So if you do have piles of photographs, there is a Yad Vashem project going on right now where you can submit them, and they may not know who they are either, but perhaps they'll find out. But it will give a flavour of what things are like, presumably if the pictures are Second World War era. Is that okay, Pauline? Yep. Okay. Sorry? Artifacts as well as pictures. Okay. All right. Thanks, Pauline. So that leaves me to a few thanks, if I may. Basically, I'd like to thank the Jewish Museum. I do like this venue. I hope you all like it too. If, like me, you didn't get much of a chance to look around the exhibits, please do come back. Lots of wonderful things to see around the building, the mikvah. Yeah, 5th year in a row, and I certainly hope to make it 6th next year. Thanks to our speakers, Dr. Nick Evans, Jeanette, thank you, and of course, Rachel Montague, Saul Marks, and finishing it up, Errol, thank you very much. Organisers, huge thanks to Martin Hill, who put most of this together. I'm just the talking head on the stage and have very little to do with the organisation, but the real power behind the society is Martin and putting on this conference. So thanks very much, Martin. Quick round of applause. But also we have behind the scenes Ray and his committee. I hope I've remembered everyone in terms of Anita, Gina, Hazel, Daniel, David. Most are in the room. I think Elaine as well. Sorry, I left you off the list. I did see you doing the badges on the door, so thanks to Elaine too. Special thank you to Daniel on the committee for introducing the speakers and saving me a job this year and holding up the time cards. And thanks as ever to Mark and Jeanette, doing lots of things at the back of the room. At least Jeanette gets to enjoy the conference, unlike when we sat her outside and made her sell books there in the past. But thanks to Josh, I think, for taking the videos this year. Food and drink, Deliphone provided the lunch, Jewish Museum might have provided the tea and coffee. No, was that all us? Okay, thanks to us for that. And definitely thanks to Gina and Hazel for doing the drinks, and anyone else I forgot. So, final message from me. Yep, this is your JGSGB, so please do attend meetings, volunteer for things. We've always got lots of jobs to do. Please write for Shemot, write for the newsletter, and feel free to write presentations and come along to special interest groups, regional meetings. We've got a new DNA special interest group, and I'm sure we all have lots of problems. We're going to find out interesting things. Please do write them up, do present them, and I'm sure Lawrence, can't quite see where he is, who's leading that group, will be interested to hear from you if you'd like to help out. So I usually like to finish with maybe a few amusing little pictures. So hopefully we're all familiar with this picture. You know, we should give a vote of thanks to our spouses who don't quite appreciate what we do through the night. But I think this does seem quite familiar to a lot of people. But we do need to be mindful of what people think about us. So I can just picture myself walking around with this T-shirt, you know, genealogy, where you confuse the dead and irritate the living. But I think we need to do a bit better, be a bit nicer. And so, you know, really I would like us to be gentler and walk around with a family tree hugger T-shirt. So please do aspire to that and be a bit gentler. You know, we can be intense. So many of my cousins don't want to talk to me now, but just take it easy. If you have to ask 3,000 questions, do it 2 questions at a time, not all at once. Okay, so big thanks to you for coming. See you at next year's conference, but hopefully much before. And final announcement, your badges, if we could have those back. Gina is going to be recycling those. And let me just hand the mic to Anthony.
Ladies and gentlemen, just before we finally depart, I think we must thank Leigh. I kidded him I was going to thank the people he's already thanked, but really, I wanted to thank Leigh very much for all he's done too, and for all the infrastructure of the Society. My daughter found a mug which said, "Only a genealogist regards a step backwards as progress." She's the only one of my children who actually takes any interest in what I do at all. Ladies and gentlemen, without your support for the Society, it would fold. But thank you, Leigh, very much for all you've done and all the infrastructure. See you this time next year. Thank you.